This is IBM Museum. Even though I did have the power supply fan come in for this Think Center unit that's back here, I'm going to go through and preempt that video for what I have up on the SkyCam here. And I'll get to that in just a moment. This Think Center is actually branded as an IBM unit. This would have been just immediately prior to the sale of the PC division that IBM had to Lenovo. And of course, the other two Think Center units I got that are branded Lenovo would have been just afterwards. And those are the units that I went through and installed the Windows Vista, both the 32-bit version and the 64-bit version on those systems. I got the three of these together in the same lot. I actually worked on this unit first. I put Windows XP Pro on it. And at the end of that process, I noticed that the power supply fan was not working. And there are two little fans that are in the front of the unit that were providing enough airflow through it for just that brief installation period. But I knew not to run that until I went through and got a replacement fan to put in there. And that fan is 20 millimeters thick. It's not the standard 25 millimeters. So I found it one fan out there, and it was down to just one of those fans being in stock. So I ordered it. Took a long time to come in. The memory that I added to the unit came in before that. I've already installed that. So on that video, I'll go through and I have to see how involved I'll be for what I'll present on video of replacing that fan. But it will be its own video. So the system that I have on the SkyCam, and again, I've got the view above me here. I located this unit just a few months ago, and this is a unit that I worked on probably more than a dozen years ago. And I located it just a few months ago, but I found this, what they consider the Hydra, or this little dongle that makes the adapter from the video board over to the VGA and S-video and composite video out. I just found that yesterday. And at one point, I had this unit connected up to a projector. I think I even had to do the S-video connection for that on the projector. Was not able even to utilize the VGA output. And a lot of the system is, in fact, built around that video card that I have in here. So let me bring that up on the screen just to show that. And that's a low-profile ATI, and they call this the All-in-Wonder. And it was the concept that you had the TV tuner that's on that video display, so you could go through and you could have a computer that you basically watch TV from, things like that. And I went through and I'll show, of course, the top of the unit over here on the left. I do have even a DVD drive in there. I mean, we went through and played DVDs from this to the projector. And just projected it up to the wall. I mean, it was an image that probably 8 to 10 feet across. And I think we'll have to see once we fire the system up of what the resolution is. I just have it set for 640 by 480 right now. But I initially got the case and the power supply, and it didn't even have a motherboard inside. And so I went through and I had an IBM Aptiva motherboard that fit in here, and was able to have a Pentium III. I mean, just barely fit. Was able to have that Pentium III in there, and that's like that's a 600 megahertz. It's marked as 600 megahertz, and I think it was running at that speed or slightly below. We'll see here in a moment when we fire it up. And then to your left from the CPU. There's actually 3 DIMM sockets that are in there, and the drive assembly is so close to that DIMM slot that's just right underneath it that I couldn't even get a memory module at that time. And I think the 2 memory modules are just a 64 megabyte. So probably doesn't run Windows XP all that well. But we're going to see in a moment here. We'll actually fire it up for the first time in years. What I've got to do here, I've finished cleaning out, blowing out the dust, but I've got to go through and change that battery, the CR2032 battery that's up there. That's probably long expired in the time frame. I've got a new battery ready to go for it. And then, I mean, over time, I'll go through and work with the system a little bit more, probably to reduce a lot of the cable clutter that's here. And then I have actually a gigabit network adapter that's up here. And I may just try and find one that's got a low profile bracket on it and replace that. It's an IBM, what they call the EtherJet 10100 network adapter that's in there right now. And I'll probably go through and swap out that gigabit adapter just because I can. And those things aren't even all that expensive. I hope I find one with a bracket that's just got a low profile that I can drop in there. And I have to consider whether I'm going to keep the operating system as Windows XP. Maybe if there's a little bit lower resources, or I can get a little bit more, ideally get a little bit more RAM on there for an operating system that has to support that all-in-wonder. And I think I have the CDs, the driver CDs and things like that for that adapter, but we will have to see. So I'm going to get turned around. Let me get replacing that battery and move on to where we can start this unit up. And I don't even know what condition it's going to be in when I first when I'm going to first power this unit on, because it is just, I've not I don't know when I even took it out of service in this case, but I can believe that battery is expired. And then we'll go through and plug in okay. I just have to feel around, remember where that switch is. Let me set down the top of the case. The power switch is back here. I already have the Ethernet. Okay. Let me get quickly let me get a keyboard connected. I forgot about that. Okay, and this should make it work a little bit better. You saw the Aptiva things flash up on the screen briefly. No video after that. Did the unit power down? I still see the holding the power switch here. No, I don't see the fan moving for the video card. Okay, there it's going. Wow, so it got us right in. So let's just look through what we got. Man, that I guess it's supposed to be 640 by 480. So there we have information about the processor. Total memory 128 megabyte. Like I said, I think those two SIMs are 64 megabyte apiece. Now I may look around. I may have some modules for this, and may have to do a little bit of study of Ateon Radeon 9000. So that's at All in Wonder. Okay. And it's seeing that as a 80 gigabyte. And of course I don't have, well, I've got a DVD ROM drive on there, and that may even be as the on that secondary channel since I have it. So that's kind of blank. But output ports. I don't know why I would have a serial port disabled if it's there. It's there. So actually I'm going to go through and I'm going to enable that. I'm trying to think. Okay, so it only has selection of the 3E8 hex, RQ11. And I think the second serial port, I think that's more of a COM2 value. And parallel port, pretty standard settings for that. That's even got that ECP mode. Power management. Okay. System sleep timer, stop CPU. Stop CPU clock in sleep state. Guess they'd gone through in the Pentium III levels, and I kind of got that and so they have the same there for the power. If you hold in the power switch for that 4 seconds, it goes to and powers off, and then a modem wake up on ring. And usually you see that more on network adapters. Startup options, fast post, silent boot, numlock after boot. So the boot sequence, if you have a diskette in floppy drive, CD-ROM, or hard drive, that's probably good boot order for this case. And it just has 3 items as the boot order. I can't put the network adapter or anything like that in there. So then that BIOS version, and there is just probably not any update for that the BIOS version that's out there, and that doesn't even give me the recorded information of the model number, serial number for that Aptiva board they have. And it's not January the 1st of 1998. Okay. So do I have to actually figure out what day it is? So okay, there. Using the cursor keys. I guess I could read down at the bottom, right? To determine no, I don't want to go down. No, that doesn't work either. So they have its own little navigation here that, and I tried typing on the numeric portion of this, and I didn't have okay. And that minute is close enough for us. Okay. So I guess we just do an escape. Once we've got that set. Advanced options. Security options, like power on. Okay, level 2 cache, level 1 cache. Memory parity mode. Memory configuration. I don't know why. Maybe that's just automatic for. I've got 2 of those DIMM sockets field. Okay. So that all looks good. And escape. Save the settings. Let's see what comes up. Nice little splash screen for an Aptiva. This is what the front of the unit looks like. And then it has a... And I've got... in this bay here, I actually have a DVD drive and a diskette drive, actually. Oh, so it's trying to boot off the network anyway. I mean, I know that hard drive is tucked way down in there. Oh, there we go. I may have to go through and turn off that. I mean, it didn't have the network boot loaded in there. Sometimes that's a configuration on those adapters. There's a little utility that can go through and turn that off. And that's still not too bad of Windows loading. And that could do a lot better with, okay. And you'll be able to see that I have, I should have an 8-character password at that time, I believe. Oh my goodness. Okay. Maybe So we may have to, I may have to do a high-ren CD or something else to get, I wonder if it, and of course I don't have any idea for my son what password that he may So I'm not going to keep this going for too much longer. It'd have been nice if I would have if it would have gotten into an operating system just to kind of see. But we apparently have a 25-minute video of getting up to the Windows XP prompt. And not getting any further. And this is the home version, so it's not on anything I had on the domain. Well, we have a video. We get to see the first retro build I did, and apparently I don't have a can't remember my what I used for a password back in the day, and So I think that's going to be a wrap for this video. I had hoped that I was getting a little bit further. I'll have to see where I have a higher end CD I can boot from or something like that to go through and nullify these passwords on here and get a little bit further with this. I'm going to go through, I'll just pause the video and look around, and I don't think I have any options at hand for cracking into this. But if I don't get anywhere, I'll be right back and just go through and close the video out. Okay, and that actually didn't take so long. I have my portable DVD recordable drive. This is a nice little unit. You can pick them up for pretty cheap. You just got a blank CDR, and it actually took longer to verify the disk after burning the image and what it took to find it online and download it. I'm using the 32-bit version here, and so I've got it into the drive, and we are going to go through and reboot here. Actually, yeah, restart. So it may get into being kind of a good demo for that. Using the Hiren is probably the most well known out there. Yep, and I hear it booting from the or spinning up the CD drive, because remember that boot order that we looked over in the configuration is so despite everything else, I guess we just have to go through and okay. So we want to go through the DOS. Oh, okay. And it's one of the selections down here. Okay, and it's been years since I've run through this. And normally, when you first get in here, it will just following through the defaults. So it's got one selected for that partition. It goes through and mounts it. Yeah, and then the defaults are shown in brackets. Okay. And then one for the password reset. Okay. And one for the edit user data and passwords. So here is the, and I guess we could have gone through as guest and got on there, but so, okay. And so we're wanting to change the password on my account. Oh, and the administrator is a blank password. I could have gone on as administrator with the blank password. And then it's got okay. So I think we can just go through and clear or blank password cleared. So we want to do a period for listing the, okay. And actually, let's go through. I thought this did it all automatically for unlocking and enabling. Okay. Okay, and it's thinking. Let's list. Okay, so mine is unlocked and blanked. So we're going to go through okay. And we're going to do Q for quit. And we're going to go through, okay. And that's the only instance where the default typically, you've got in there for no, and you've got to actually write and they're saying Control-Delete to reboot, remove the, we're just going to go through, we'll eject the DVD. And we'll have to go through that Intel. But this is what we used back in the day to get into the systems like that. If you had forgotten the password, you just used this utility and went in there and cleared it. And then once you get into Windows, you can go through and set the password. So we're going to see once this, so starting now, should be booting from the hard drive. I'll look to see how much it took to get to a login. Because I'm just trying to remember what I have on this system, and I think I have like the Power DVD or something else to watch DVDs. I'm interested in what resolution I can set it at as well. Because that might be interesting. And we've gone through just under a minute to get to the login. quite a long time with the 128 megabyte. It's loading personal settings. Yahoo Messenger. Outlook Express. It might even be Adware SE. Trillion. The old Messenger clients that I used to use. Acrobat Reader 5. So that gives Yahoo Mail. That gives a little bit of an indication of the what this, when the system was maybe powered down. Presentations, and I'll look at my documents later on. I want to look at and what loaded down here was, in fact, I think I had a wireless keyboard and mouse that were IBM, and that's what it loaded down here. And of course, it doesn't have anything. Yeah, see, it normally would give your, whether your caps and num lock were on, your scroll lock, and you did it when your mouse and keyboard are active, and then and I don't even think I have that, anything close to that wireless keyboard still around. And that was something that connected into the PS2 connections. I thought maybe it connected up to USB. It had the box on the end of the cable that connected to the system. Then you had a, I told it I'd wanted to get into control panel. And I can understand with and I've got AVG in there and things like that. That's probably a good indication. And these are, that was a little notice with XP as well, telling you from time to time you could clean up unused icons off your desktop. Okay. I just wanted to see. And like I say, with the and that's kind of rough with me. Well, I guess I was seeing most. Okay. Well, no, I wanted the, yeah, I wanted the appearance and themes. Yeah, let's go. A little shortcut to our screen resolution. 1920 by 1200. Okay. And I don't know if that's just the six. Yeah, that's going to be a good. And I'll probably. Okay. So 16 by 12. Okay. I don't know with I don't know if that's going to be all that much better for us. Yeah, it still goes through, has stuff, and that's now if I get the there I go. Get me some sizing things in place, and I think we'll be looking a lot better. Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's actually pretty good. I'm sorry I'm having to do all these screen adjustments. Everything else just to demonstrate this, but here we are. That looks like a good resolution to work with on this, that I'm able to capture for that aspect ratio. You know, ultimately that's a 4:3 reduced down, but it's 1600 by 1200. So I don't really know if there's much more to show on this, but we have our, and there wouldn't be any form, you know, this is probably not even Chrome hadn't even come out yet. Just making sure. Unknown device. And I think that's from the All-in-Wonder. I think I saw that way back in the day of that. And I had this labeled as a media console in the work group. I mean, this is XP Home as well, so it Intel Pentium III processor. Thinks it's at 598 megahertz and 128 KB of RAM. And I'm not going to go through and bore you guys with that aspect. I would even have to see if I can get Firefox on this thing at all. I may have to go through and fall back on that. And remember all those times with the toolbars. Yahoo toolbar. Yeah, I can search again. And wow. And really, I don't know when this is where I used to work. Interesting. So eventually it got there. But this is pre-tab. Pre-tabbed browser. Say, I don't even think, because I'm not going to even be able to I don't know if that's going to even resolve. I don't know if oh, and this is I'm sitting here and I'm probably not thinking straight, because this is probably just a cached page from I mean, it looked like I remembered it, and I can't remember if I had this fire sort of design to it. I remembered. So I'll probably end up, I think the version you can run on Vista that I already have on that drive, I think I can run it on XP here, but I'm not going to go through and bore you guys with that. I'm back operating, and like I say, I'll look for that, adding that gigabit Ethernet adapter on there. And then I am undoubtedly going to go through and upgrade the memory for what I can. I got to look through my bin and see if I can find some memory sticks and even to modify that drive assembly. I can go through now and I can just Dremel that out, kind of notch it out. There's nothing on the underside of that anyway. I'll have to see how close that hard drive and everything else is there. And I may have some low profile DIMM modules as well for that. And the front side bus on this is 100 megahertz. And I think that's undoubtedly the fastest CPU I can probably get in there for that 600 multiplier 6. And there's a dip switch setting. Because I went through with all the preparation I had to do for the system and finding parts, everything else I had it pretty well maxed out for the parts I could find at that time of what the maximum was possible on that motherboard. So it gives me a little bit of work to do on this system, but I think it was pretty good. Otherwise, you get locked out of a machine like this, and of course I'm not judging your intent or saying the right things about your intentions and going through to crack into a system like that. But that high-end CD has been around for a very long time as well, and can be utilized for that to get into the system and be able to get to that profile or that admin level, and then you can reset your password and do whatever you want with whatever accounts at that point. So I hope that this video has been a little bit informative on that regard. It's a blast from the past for me. I still have a little bit of work to do with the system. If you like this video, please click on that like button and leave me a comment how much you enjoyed or didn't enjoy this video. You can click on that dislike if you want to as well. But subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and pass that word around to your friends about the channel as well. See if they are interested in that as well. So, but that's all I have for now. This is IBM Museum. Thank you.